once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast, and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got Startup on the Blocks. So I need you to start coming to Startup on the Blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, all the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally, and we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow, send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard. And Lloyd is here, he's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Hello, welcome to Startup on the Block, Startup Founder Best Practices. We're definitely glad to have you here today, and we got have a great presentation for you tonight. But we're also happy that Thanksgiving is coming up, so we definitely won't be here next Thursday. So I wanted to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving for next week, and we really want you to take time, enjoy your family and the holidays there, and get back going here. So yes, it's another day in the neighborhood, as they say, and the deal is we things are changing. All this AI stuff keeps improving and giving founders more capability. And so today I started thinking, we started off with this idea of a founders best practices playbook back in August of 2020. And so I started thinking, I said, well, how has that playbook changed since all these new tools and all this AI stuff is out there? So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. So let me share my screen here. So let's see here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, my background is actually showing. I'll just do it this way. Yes, and so I wanted to just see how this idea of leveraging the ecosystem had changed, and so my whole spiel has been you have to learn the best practices of building a startup, and that puts a lot on the founder. But once you learn how to do that, you can actually leverage the ecosystem. And so that's kind of where we're headed with this, is to see how founders, leveraging all this AI technology can get more funding, more resources, and support faster. That's kind of what we're after today. So first we want to give a shout out to our some of our partner organizations and our sponsors. So we can't make all the progress without them, and so we really appreciate all the associations in the past, and all the support they've been giving us to support founders. And so we had the opportunity to work with the BID Foundation back in 2023, and we barely used AI at all back then to teach those 4 30-day business model design workshops and the demand validation training. And so that was brutal, trying to coach all the founders and stuff like that. And then and we used the lean stack program so we could teach those things, and we still use the lean stack program, but it's improved over those years. And about a year ago, they started implementing the AI in there for the to generate the customer forces and jobs to be done things. So when you're doing the problem discovery interviews, and that sped up things quite a bit. But when we started using Coda, so it evolved to getting the AI built in, and you could do prompting in that, and you could generate tables and do all kinds of stuff, and that's continually improving. Last year we partnered with Make Startups, and this was a training program that leveraged AI in it to evaluate how you filled out an application and help you improve your ability to communicate with the ecosystem. So that's really fantastic. And it may have been about a year ago we partnered with PitchBob, and one of the reasons we did that was because it generates a lot of the documents that a founder needs to do when they're first getting started. So that was very helpful from an AI standpoint and a communication standpoint. How do you communicate your business idea, and how do you write a one pager? So having the AI PitchBob consult with that, and PitchBob has so many resources, it's just crazy. So you definitely need to take advantage of that. And we've been working with Lean Stack and Black Innovation Alliance and Black Innovation Leaders of Florida, Goody Nation. And we started working with them quite a while ago, and they help us grow as an organization and leverage resources as well. And so our sponsors, some of our partners here, they provide the funding for us to do the programs, and so they're instrumental. We couldn't serve you all without them. So definitely big shout out. So let's just review some of this stuff. So like, for example, Lean Stack currently, it has like the customer forces AI in there, like I mentioned before, and Ash is in the process of developing a tool called Lean Spark, and he's developing it out in the open. So that's totally AI driven, and it's going to help founders, do experiments to validate their business models, validate, help them get through all the different milestones. And it's just how do you plan, and validate what you're doing. Startup Science, it's full of resources, and their AI stuff is still coming down the pipe. But from a resource standpoint, having a platform, a training platform, a platform that's got sample documents in it, it's a platform that's got grants and funding opportunities. It's got pitch competitions coming up in there. It's got tools to help you determine your market size, to see who your competitors are. I mean, it's just got a bunch of tools in there. So you're not, it's like one-stop shopping for all the startup resources that you need. So if you're a founder and you're not leveraging that, you're literally making a mistake. And patent hacks, that's just, if you develop an IP, you should be protecting your IP. So we're offering training for that as well. And all of this stuff, if you go to kakuainstitute.org, click the Get Started page, and we can get you hooked up. So when you look at this slide, it's like this is what this program, this weekly event is all about. Working with founders to guide them through the process of designing business models, helping them coming up with the pitching and launching their business models. And so the business model is the foundation for everything. It teaches you how to talk about how you make money with your idea, and so that's foundational. But until you get that right, it's going to be hard to recruit the people to help you out, and it's going to be hard to leverage the ecosystem. And the startup milestones, that's what the lean stack is all about. The startup life cycles, that's what the startup science is all about. But all these things above are the key to unlocking the startup ecosystem. And so you have to learn how to engage with the ecosystem. So the question now becomes, how does AI change all that, or make a difference with all that? And so that's what tonight's presentation it's going to be about. So let's see and I'll just kind of I'm going too fast here. So we got that. So we have, this is just a slide on the Launchpad program, the IP program that we do with Black Innovation Leaders of Florida. Here's the link down here. Go to the main website, click the Get Started page, and then you'll see a link for Patent Hacks. And let's see. Yeah, and so we've been showing this chart since we got started, because it's actually just kind of gives you an idea of the different phases your startup goes through, and so you launch way out here, but all this stuff happens before you launch, and so it's good to understand that. And then with the startup science, it's also about the life cycle phases to kind of keep you on track here. And so it's a training program that's actually you start with your vision. And what I like about it at the exit here, but so you pick the company that's gonna buy you out here in this cycle one here, in this visioning cycle. You pick the companies to follow, and so it's just like, so you everything is strategic, and so that's what I like about it. And this is and so when you get your design your business model, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get traction, and this is called a traction roadmap. And so and that's the thing that determines how well your business model is working, and so that's kind of what the deal is there. So I'll move away from this. Let's see here, and just kind of get set up what we're going to do here. So I have a couple of videos that I want to show. They're short, but it'll help set the stage for my presentation. So let's find the first one here. So this first one, it'll be about the founder best practices, the founder's playbook in this AI age. So just it should be a big help to you. So I'm going to go ahead and start it here. The playbook, where is the, okay.
Hey everyone, today we're going to break down a playbook that could totally change the game for you as a founder. We're talking about how to get the resources you need to build and scale your startup. We're going to move way beyond just asking for money and get into a much smarter, more strategic, AI-powered way to win. So let's dive right in.
But first, let's just get real for a second. Let's start with a question that I am positive every founder has asked themselves, probably late at night. Why is this so hard, right? You've got this amazing idea, you're pouring your heart and soul into it, but every time you ask for help, funding, a mentor, an intro, it feels like you're just hitting a brick wall of no's. So what's the deal? Why do most of these requests just fizzle out?
Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is the ask itself. The most common one, the one that investors and partners hear literally a dozen times a day, is this: we're looking for funding. It's just so vague. It's generic, and honestly, it's the fastest way to get tuned out. But there is a much, much better way. So what is that winning ask? We're about to get to it. Okay, before we jump into the tactics, we've got to start with a major mindset shift. This is so important. You have to get away from the idea that you can just talk your way into getting resources. The new game, it's all about learning your way in. It's about learning fast, not just talking fast. This quote right here, this is the core of it. Look, excitement is cheap. It's easy to fake. But disciplined learning, that is cold, hard, undeniable proof that you know what you're doing. Investors, partners, you name it, they don't really fund ideas. They fund founders who prove they can figure things out, who learn quickly and systematically. That's the real bet. So, what does this whole disciplined learning thing actually look like? It's not just a vibe. It's about having tangible proof. We're talking about documented experiments, not just telling stories. It's real evidence, like actual quotes from customer interviews. It's having a clear, predictable learning loop, and then sharing what you learn consistently. This is how you build rock-solid credibility. All right, with that mindset locked in, let's start building the playbook. This is where we shift from the why to the how. It's all about making your asks strategic and so incredibly precise that you make it a no-brainer for someone to help you out. And boom, here it is, the winning ask. Instead of that weak, we need money, you say something like, right now we're validating our ideal customer, which is small businesses. Our learning goal for the next 30 days is to see if they'll actually pay. To do that, what we need is an intro to 3 marketing managers in that space. See the difference? It's night and day. For the person you're asking, this is a dream. It's specific, it's got context, and it gives them a super clear, easy way to help. You've done all the work for them. Now, this is absolutely crucial. Your ask has to match your stage. You can't ask for $1 million to scale when you're still just trying to figure out if people even have the problem you think they have. Every startup goes through these basic phases, and each one needs a totally different kind of support. And this chart just lays it out perfectly. If you're in that early idea stage, your entire world is problem discovery, so you should be asking for intros to people you can interview, not for office space. Then, when you're in the validation stage, you need pilot customers. It's only when you actually hit the scale stage that big capital should be your main ask. Making sure your request matches your reality is everything. Let this one sink in for a second, seriously. Before you even think about raising a big round, your goal should be to hoard as many non-cash resources as you can get your hands on. We're talking free office space, legal templates, cloud credits, marketing help. Every single one of those things lowers your burn rate and gives you more time. It's like free fuel for your rocket ship. Okay, so everything we've covered so far is solid, timeless advice. But founders today have an ace up their sleeve, a secret weapon, an unfair advantage that can put every single one of these practices on steroids. And that advantage, of course, is AI. Remember that whole disciplined learning thing we were just talking about? Well, instead of spending days transcribing user interviews and trying to find patterns, AI can just do it. It can auto-summarize them, pull out the key insights, and even build you a live dashboard to track your progress. You can generate proof of your learning almost instantly. And what about that perfect, precise ask we just broke down? Yep, AI can help you nail that too. It can look at where you are and help you generate those specific learning goals. Then it can draft perfectly customized emails to different people in your ecosystem, which is going to dramatically boost your chances of getting that yes. Networking events, they're no longer a game of luck. With AI, you can scan an attendee list before you even walk in the door and pinpoint the exact people you need to meet. It'll even help you write a personalized intro message. This turns what used to be a random walkabout into a surgical strike for opportunities. And finally, AI is your secret weapon for just managing all the relationships. You know those monthly update emails you're supposed to send to investors but never quite get around to? AI can draft them for you. It can act as your personal CRM and automate that consistency that really builds trust over the long haul. So we've covered the mindset, the tactics, and the tech. But there is one last, final step. And honestly, this is the master level move. This is about shifting your entire perspective from being a consumer in your ecosystem to becoming a contributor, a catalyst. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this truth right here.
A slick pitch deck might get you in the door, but it's the founder who gets the check. It's your reputation, your actions, and who you are in the community that really attracts support. People want to back founders who are pillars of their ecosystem. And this is the ultimate transformation, moving from being a consumer who's always thinking, what can I get, to a contributor who's always thinking, what can I give? When you make that one little shift in your brain, something magical happens. The ecosystem literally starts to rally around you. You become a magnet for opportunities. And look, being a contributor doesn't mean you have to do something huge. It could be super simple. Share what you're learning, good or bad. Mentor a brand new founder. Give a quick talk on something you're an expert in, or just make an introduction for another founder. These little acts of giving build up massive goodwill. So let's wrap all of this up. We can actually boil this entire playbook down into a single powerful formula, a formula that creates your new true competitive advantage as a founder. Here it is. Your advantage comes from your competence, which you prove through learning. It's boosted by your consistency in how you communicate. It gets supercharged by your contribution back to the community. It's laser-focused by understanding context, asking for the right thing at the right time, and the whole thing gets scaled with AI leverage. That is the new playbook. So, I'll leave you with a challenge, not just a question. For just a moment, forget about what you need to ask for. Instead, think about what you can give. What is one small thing you can contribute to your startup ecosystem this week? The answer to that question might just be the key that unlocks everything else for you.
Cool. Yes, that sort of takes the playbook that we started with 5.5 years ago to a whole new level. But it's everything is this same, but with AI, it's just sped up a lot faster. For those of you all that are new, I didn't explain all these what's going on here. See, we use the lean stack to kind of reach these milestones you see up top here. So when you go through the training, you break your idea into a one-page business plan, which is the lean canvas, and then you build a business plan or lean canvas for each customer segment. And then you stress test each of those customer segments for like desirability. You do that first, and then if one of the customer segments doesn't pass that desirability test, then you don't bother to do the viability test. And then whatever doesn't pass the viability test, which customer segment, then you don't need to do a feasibility test on it. But then when you start doing your validating your demand, validate that there is a customer out there that has a problem, that's what you use the customer, the what we call problem discovery interview. So you're trying to validate what you said over here in this block here, this problem block. You're trying to see if a particular customer has that. And then as you keep moving to the right here, you see you get to one customer segment. And so what's going on there, I guess many years ago, and still today, people talk about the target market. But what this is basically showing you, you're trying to find that target market or that early adopter that will help you get to this product market fit milestone. So that's what's going on here. And so what has happened since we started engaging with AI on going through this process. So I created a prompt that takes you all the way through the end of this pink here, where you can determine whether you have solution customer fit. And so that just means you got people, you offering people your product and they're buying it. So that's a significant milestone to reach. So if you can imagine 5 years ago, this was painful, manual going through this process. And now, when we started using AI with this process, we developed a prompt that could get you through your business model design stress testing. And then a couple of months ago, we updated the prompt to take you through this demand validation and teaching you how to sell your product or service. And so this process works on any kind of business. It doesn't care if it's a startup, tech startup. It doesn't care if it's a nonprofit. It doesn't care if it's a retail store. So people all get confused about these principles. They can be used in any type of business. And I also had one startup founder who's doing an event in April. I said, run the prompt for that event, and it'll do all that for just that event. So that's how powerful. And the additional thing that the prompt does, it actually also develop your marketing material, and what should go on your landing page and all that kind of stuff. So imagine within 30 minutes of starting to run that prompt, you could have basically all the planning throughout all of this. And then, but in this part where you actually have to interact with the customer trying to reach this milestone, you still need to go back and do it, but at least you understand how to do it, and you understand what to look for by running that prompt. So that's how we're using AI to kind of speed up things. So if you do this stuff right, then the question becomes, how can you engage the ecosystem to so like here, like at that. So this is the amazing thing about the ecosystem, and I'll show you a video that explains it a little bit better. The once you get your pitch, this design your business model, and you can design a scalable business model. You don't have to design a business model that doesn't scale. But once you get that, you can start pitching. Pitching, all that means is if you fill out an application to get in a program that gives you money or gives you help, you're literally pitching your idea when you fill out the application. Or if you're trying to get somebody to help you, you pitch your idea to them, your business model to them to get the help you need. So if you're trying to get somebody to come on and help you with your idea, and you haven't developed the business model that tells how you're going to make money, you're wasting your time. You're wasting their time and your time. So that's why this is so important. But even at this idea stage here, you can get money. And we actually give founders money after they go through this process, and more money after they go through this demand validation process. And that's a result of our sponsors supporting founders learning this stuff. So I just want to make sure you give you all a kind of a deal there to go from. And I'm going to get back to let's see where I want to go here. Get rid of this. So next, I'm going to show you a video that talks about the ecosystem. So let me just get that pulled up here. Where's my media? So this video is talking about, once you kind of learn the Founders Playbook, then how do you go in and engage the ecosystem?
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into something that's a huge deal for every founder out there. But let's be honest, it can feel a little vague. We're talking about your local startup ecosystem. We're going to take this buzzword and turn it into a real practical playbook you can start using, like, today. You know, if you're a founder, you know exactly what this feels like. Some days it's just you, your laptop, and this massive idea. It feels like you're totally on your own, trying to build something huge from nothing. But what if you're not? What if there's this whole support system, literally right outside your door, just waiting for you to tap into it? All right, so here's our game plan. First up, we'll nail down what an ecosystem even is. Then we'll get into the good stuff, the tangible resources, what you get, and the intangible ones, who you meet. After that, we'll build out a real strategy for how you can actually get involved. And we'll wrap it all up with the one big takeaway you'll definitely want to stick around for.
Okay, let's kick things off with the big question. This word, ecosystem, gets tossed around all the time in the startup world, right? But what does it actually mean? We're going to cut through the jargon and turn that buzzword into something solid, something you can really work with. So here it is in a nutshell. A startup ecosystem is this whole interconnected web of people, organizations, and all the resources in one place, all working together to help new companies get off the ground and grow. It's not just one thing. Seriously, think of it like a coral reef. You've got the universities, the investors, the co-working spaces, even the coffee shops where founders are sketching out ideas on napkins. All these pieces form this living, breathing system that can either give your startup everything it needs to thrive or, leave it gasping for air. All right, so we've got this picture of our coral reef. Now, let's talk about the first type of value you can pull from it, and that's the tangible stuff. This is the what you get part, the practical, physical things you can see, you can touch, and yep, you can put in the bank. And we are talking about the real heavy hitters here. First off, funding. Being physically in an ecosystem means you're close to capital. You can actually grab coffee with a VC instead of just being another cold email in their inbox. Then you've got in-kind services. I mean, think about getting free or super cheap software, legal help, marketing support. That stuff is a game changer early on. Of course, there's office space, co-working spots, incubators, accelerators, places to build your team. And maybe most importantly, the talent pool. You're right next to universities and other companies giving you this pipeline of skilled people. This is literally the fuel for your business. But as crucial as all that stuff is, if you ask any seasoned founder, they'll tell you the real magic, the real value, lies in something a lot less obvious. It's not about the what, it's all about the who. We're talking about the people, the knowledge, and the connections that you just can't put a price on. This right here is the hidden gold of the ecosystem. You suddenly get access to this fire hose of knowledge from workshops and panels. You find mentors, people who have already walked the path and made the mistakes you're about to make. Your network just explodes, right? Opening doors to maybe your first big customer or that key partner you've been looking for. And honestly, this last one is huge: support. You find a community of other founders who are on the exact same roller coaster. They get it. And that empathy and advice, man, that's priceless when things get tough. And this just lays it out perfectly. It's the two sides of the same coin. The tangible assets, that's the fuel for your rocket ship. You absolutely need it. But the intangible assets, that's your navigation system. That's your mission control crew. They're the ones guiding you, helping you course correct, and making sure you don't fly straight into a wall. You need both. You absolutely need both to get where you're going. Okay, so we know what the ecosystem is. We know what it offers, both the stuff and the people. Now for the most important part of this whole thing. How do you actually plug in and tap into all this value? Let's build a real, actionable strategy. And it all starts with this quote. This, right here, is everything. Because if you just walk into every event thinking, what can I get? You're not going to get very far. The founders who really succeed, they approach their ecosystem with a give-first mentality. They build up that social capital before they ever try to spend it. Seriously, this shift in mindset is the absolute foundation of a winning strategy. So you gotta be strategic about it, and this breaks it down into 4 simple steps. Step 1, map your ecosystem. Figure out who the key players are in your city. The accelerators, the VCs, the universities, the popular meetups. Get the lay of the land. Step 2, and this is crucial, contribute first. What can you give? Can you volunteer at an event? Can you share something you're an expert on? Or maybe just introduce 2 people who could benefit from knowing each other with no expectation of anything in return. Third, when you do show up, connect authentically. Be a human. Ask questions, listen more than you talk, try to learn. The goal is to build relationships, not just to make transactions. And finally, when you do need help, ask specifically. Don't just say, hey, can you help me? Say, hey, I'm trying to connect with Jane Doe at Company X. Would you be open to an introduction? That makes it so much easier for people to say yes. All right, let's bring this all home. I want to wrap up with the single most important idea to take away from our chat today. If you forget everything else, please remember this. And here it is. Your ecosystem is not a safety net. It's a launch pad. It is not there to catch you if you fall or do the work for you. No way. It's there to amplify the hard work you're already doing. It's there to accelerate your growth and multiply your chances of success. But you have to engage with it. Your active, authentic participation, that's the ignition sequence. So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. It's really easy to listen to something like this and just nod along, right? But the real value comes from taking action. So my question for you is this. What is one real, tangible thing you're going to do this week to plug into your ecosystem? Are you going to sign up for that meetup you've been putting off? Are you going to reach out to a potential mentor? Or maybe you'll just make one simple introduction for another founder. The choice is yours.
Yes, yes, the choice is yours. But yeah, that the ecosystem provides a lot of support, a lot of funding, and um, for example, a couple of weeks ago, I was a judge in a pitch competition, a $15,000 pitch competition, and I was talking to some of the founders that were pitching, and so they literally are known in the ecosystem. Uh, and so one company, they've been getting invited to all these pitch competitions all over and winning money right and left because they people know what they're working on. But if you're out there building something and nobody knows you're building it, you're not going to get the help. And this one founder, he had been uh, he had a really neat um, application for using drones to paint, but it required such precision that he couldn't grow fast. So he switched to um, using the drones to actually wash the windows and water towers, and all of a sudden he started making money right and left. And so it's just so many things you can learn. And he's making money, but he wanted to scale even more. And so one of the questions I asked him, I said, what's your growth rate? And he said, 100%. We've been growing at 100%, and so that's basically a 2x growth rate. And so he's still going to have trouble. He's going to be able to raise some money, but imagine if an investor has the opportunity to invest in somebody business that's growing at a 2x rate compared to somebody that's growing at a 5x rate or a 10x rate, who's the investor going to put their money with? And so that's the way the ecosystem works. And so the neat thing is that you can design your business model to scale. And that's what the lean stack program is all about. People think it's just a lean canvas, but it's not, and so that's that's you don't need to be out there running blind. The help is here and all around you. You just got to engage in the ecosystem, to kind of take advantage. What I wanted to let you all know, if you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, you're welcome to ask questions in the chat, and they'll pop up. That's what I'm here for, to kind of help out in any way I can. But we're going to transition to dig a little deeper in some of the stuff you saw in the videos. I just feel free to jump in anytime and ask questions, so we can help you with with your journey. And so we're starting to launch our uh, uh, program called, we call it the Founder Insights program, because of all the insights you can get using AI. And so it's truly amazing. And I'll jump ahead a little bit, but one of the things I do, all the meetings I go to, all the workshops I go to, I record all the audio using an app called Fireflies. But then I take that transcript from that recording and run a prompt on that transcript. And what I'm looking for is this idea of what are the takeaways from that transcript that I could use, and what insights did this talk or workshop really provide. And so those insights are real important. But then the next level is, what actions should I take or potentially take based on those insights? And so that takes from just hearing the thing to getting the takeaways, to getting the insights and then the recommended actions for that. But what's neat about that, the AI knows I work with founders, so I have it give me the insight for me working with the insights, the actions for me working with founders, but also give the insights um, for for the founders themselves. And so it's just you leaving knowledge and insights on the table when you don't record the presentation. um, yeah, it's like really powerful. So I tend to get insights on my own from the presentations and listening to the workshops, and so this is an actual real world example. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a workshop, and had a chance to listen to other presenters as well. And one of the presenters saying, AI can't do this or can't do that, and so yeah, I kind of said in my mind, so AI can't do that yet, or maybe it already can do that, but you just don't know that it can do that. So I decided that I wanted to help people understand what AI, what's possible with AI, and so my thing was with a artificial network AI, you can map any inputs to any you can map anything to anything, but that just means you can map uh, any set of information to any other set of information. And it's the neural network, and I talked about this last week, is a um, it's governed by this thing called a universal approximation theorem. But basically it said it could learn data pattern, any data pattern, and our whole world is a data pattern. It can learn any pattern, and it could learn to any function. And so so I just said I want to make sure people understand it. But what the insight that the prompt gave me was is that what you should teach is it's actually an opportunity for you as a founder to go out and create that capability that they say the AI can't do. And so that's what the deal is. And also the prompt gave me a way to talk about it to help it make more sense to people. And it basically said artificial neural network AI is a universal mapping engine. You can map anything to anything. And so the opportunity, if AI can't do it, you should be that's a void that's there, and you should be figuring out how to do that. So I just wanted to show you the power, how over the years how AI is actually helping founders move forward. Uh, so like I said, like I've been saying, it's an evolution. So uh, when working with startups, you know we did everything mostly manual, and then we started using AI to kind of help accelerate it. And now we're saying AI should be kind of built into everything, so you have all the insights you need um, to do your founder's journey. Uh, Yeah, so this is an accurate statement. Resources flow to founders who learn fast, align well, and contribute visually. So if your communications to the people out in the ecosystem are not aligned with this lean startup methodology, yeah, yeah. And so we've been doing this thing for over 5.5 years every Thursday night. And so when I try to connect with resources and I tell them what I'm doing and they see what I'm doing, to see the evidence, say, well, yep, so yeah, we'll provide this to you. And we got provided so much stuff at no charge that we could give to founders. It was amazing just by being visible. So these are the three resources that these are the 10 resource systems that we're going to talk about. Let me see if I could get the whole screen here. Yep. Let's see, make sure. Yep, still on stage, still can hear me. But yeah, so this is what we're going to go over: the learning, the asking, the stage fit, the event strategy, uh, identity, relationships, in-kind support. We're going to go over all this, so we'll just keep the ball rolling here. All right, let's talk about the learning system first. Yes, and yeah, documenting all of the experiments that you do. So the lean stack, you do experiments to kind of validate, that the customer has the problem that you think they have. You do experiments uh, to um, to see if you got the right pricing. You have to validate everything in your business model. You don't just create a business plan or business model. You have to validate everything in it. And that's what the lean stack is: a stack of tools that help you validate things in your business planning. And so, and that's powerful. And so it says collect data and demonstrate progress and learning. So that's really, really, really key. So it's all about you, as a founder and your team. You have to learn, and you learn from your customers, or your potential customers, and you have to show evidence. And so on the 11th of December, we're going to have a pitch competition, but it's going to be a 3P progress report. And so the founders are going to be saying what they learned over the last 3 months. And so that's through actual doing demand validation type things. So you got to capture that evidence. And so when you do this, your results demonstrate traction. And so that's what the ecosystem people resources want to see. You have to if you met somebody in the ecosystem 6 months ago and you were at the idea stage, and now they they see you got partners and you got an MVP or something. They see you're making progress, and they know you're serious. And then sharing your weekly loops. So publish regular updates, and you can leverage AI to help do that. And so this is what I was talking about. Summarize your finding, extract insights, and publish updates efficiently. So that's what the video was talking about. Okay, and the video also talked about the ask, and this is real important. So the first thing I hear from founders, we need money, and so why would you be asking for money if you don't even have your business model ironed out? You don't have things validated, and so but this thing is saying, if you're working and going through these milestones in your startup, you get asked for help to get you to the next stage to prove this. So, and the thing talk about, like, so if you, for example, if you need to do some problem discovery interviews, you ask for connections to people to interview. Or if you need some marketing help, you ask for people. That's all that's saying. Yeah, and so it's just you do the stuff at the stage, and that's what this um, like if you're trying to get more traction, you say, I need some could get connected to a potential company or customer that I can do a pilot for, or get some in-kind support. Yeah, and so the ecosystem has all this stuff. Once you get to that product market fit, that's when you ask for the money, because you know your unit economics, you know how much money you're going to make. You plan out your traction. You know what you need to do each month to generate the sales to scale at that 10x rate. And so you just have to ask for the right thing at the right stage. And the other thing about this asking is you also got to remember that also applies to if you're at one stage and you're trying to do something that's only done in another stage further down the road, you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, and it's gonna cause your business to fail. So that's the significance of all this thing. So this is talking about events. Yeah, this. So it says your event strategy system. So you can leverage AI for this. So events are a funnel, not a mixer. I can give you an example for this. Last month I had to go to the Prosperity Now conference representing the Black Innovation, not the Black Innovation, Black Innovation Leaders of Florida. I'm on the board, so they needed somebody to go attend this conference, but I needed to bring back a report. So, and they gave me a template for the report I need to do. So, what I did was I looked at the website, got all the information off the website, and put it in the Notebook LM, and then also put the report that I needed to generate in Notebook LM. And so before I left for the event, I asked Notebook LM to start filling out the report for me, and it filled out as much as we can in report. So when I went to the event, I recorded all the workshops that I went to, and then added those transcripts to the Notebook LM, and then asked Notebook LM to I ran my analysis prompt. What are my uh, takeaways from all these different workshops? What are the insights from all these workshops, and what actions can I take? But if in this case it wasn't the actions for me, it was the actions for the Black Innovation Leaders of Florida. So I just updated the prompt, based on that. And so I dumped all that into Notebook LM, and then I asked Notebook LM to finish filling out the thing, and it did. So that's so yeah. So that's the simplicity of that, and so had made several contacts as well, and leveraging AI to do that as well. Right. So yeah. So that's ways you use AI now. Um, uh, yeah, identity systems, and so this, so like in the ecosystem, you have a reputation, and when you so yeah, so that's what this is saying. You have to work on all these things and make sure they're clear and concise, because they all these support goes to founders, not just based on a pitch deck. And the credibility thing is, and this is what I love, the other thing, and this is what's unique about the startup ecosystem as opposed to the traditional business financing system. So the traditional business financial system, uses a lot of information, but one of the pieces of the information that it uses is credit. But in the startup ecosystem, it uses a lot of things, but what it uses is credibility, and the credibility is your reputation in the ecosystem. And so, when you win money, it's based on you're doing a good job on the pitch competition and doing a good job on filling out your application to get in the accelerator program or pre-accelerator program. So the more credibility you have, the easier it is to get in those programs. But you have to align with the ecosystem, the community. It's if you don't know how to communicate with the way the ecosystem wants you to communicate, you're out of luck. Relationships, okay. And this is still along the same lines. So this is about whenever you make progress, you celebrate it. If you got partners in the ecosystem, you make sure they're updated on a regular basis. And then like we're doing this 3P progress report thing on December 11th with the founders, and they're literally updating their progress with their with their mentors, their investors, whoever, all their stakeholders. They're updating their progress. Be visible with value. Yeah. So, and it's basically just saying leverage AI to kind of make that happen. Yeah. So, yeah, you're like I participate in the ecosystem. I present at different conferences. I I when I'm at networking events, I help the other founders and people as best I can. And so so I'm well known in the ecosystem, and so that's what these relationships are. And like my wife and I, we're well known in the community here in Pensacola, and so when we ask for something, they know what we've been working on, and so this it's not a question whether they're going to help us or not. If they can help us, they will. If they can't, they can't. But they know we're credible because we participate, we're visible. Yeah. So in-kind services, yeah. So free office space, yeah. So most accelerated programs, they do provide you, some type of office space if you're participating in the program. I've had free office space, for participating in programs, and so that's a pretty neat benefit. Cloud credits, my startup uh, uh, over $200,000 in cloud credits. Interns, so like this is not just for startup founders. This is for any business interns, and so we partner with different organizations like Career Source, Voc Rehab, contractors, and we get interns or students to come work for us, and we don't have to pay them. Our partners actually pay them, and so that's available to almost any business right now. But you just have to realize, get familiar with the ecosystem, and move forward. But all these things, they help you build capacity, to deliver your product or service, and to streamline your business operations and stuff like that. So yeah, there's just so many free in-kind services that you don't get when you do traditional businesses, but when you do startups, the ecosystem um, will do will and this says before, yeah, ask for resources for course, because that's increasing your capacity to do something. It reduces your cash needs. That's really the key takeaway there stands your runway. But as you're building capacity and getting traction, you're able to pitch to get money from pitch competitions or to get in programs that actually give you money. And so that's the beauty of the startup ecosystem. So over 10 years ago, when I learned this, I say, well, if I'm going to start a business, would I start something in the startup ecosystem, or would I start a traditional thing? So I chose the startup ecosystem because you get more help. And even with our nonprofit, the Kakua Institute, we leverage all these same things here to do our mission with the Kakua Institute. So yeah, just stop anytime when you have um, if you have any questions. So feel free to put in the chat. Yes. So it's like we're getting close to time. I think you're getting close to finishing up here. So so there's this political awareness system. Yeah. So this is a part of the communication thing. So so frame your startup, in one of these ways, like when you, yeah, and so like innovation pipelines, supplier development. So what with our Founders Insight program, we work with mainly Black founders, but based on the political climate here, Founder Insights program, um, you know, um, protects our sponsors because with all the pushback and the legal ramifications from that. So you have to make sure you're communicating your what you're doing in a way that's politically aware. And times change, so don't get too bent out of shape about it, but just be aware that this could kind of impact. Uh, yeah, and so we're actually involved in all these areas here with the Record Institute, and so it's just a matter of how you communicate. Like our workforce program, we call that the Innovation Skills Initiative program, and I guess yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what I'll say about that. So let's keep rolling. This contribution first, give first. You remember that, and these are the ways you can give. And I mentioned all these. So I do mentoring, speaking, volunteering, sharing insights, and this event we're sharing insights. Helping founders and stuff like that. So all these contributions build social capital. So uh, yeah, like I said. The give first and people respond to that and help. Yeah, and so use your the ecosystem as strategic partners. So yeah, so this works perfectly. We partner with career source to get talent. We partner with the book we have both. We partner with children home society. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's just so many opportunities. We partner with the county for space or also partner with the local county here for work in their workforce program. It's just this is the way you do it. If you're not leveraging these resources, you're never going to build any capacity. So we consider the newspaper as our local newspaper as our partner. Yeah, everybody in the ecosystem. We build relationships. So when we need something, they and they're willing to support us. So the next thing, if you want to, we're going to do a little checklist thing and a little scoring thing here. So you can take the scoring test yourself. But this is kind of like a checklist, and I'll provide the link to this presentation so you will have it. So this is your funding checklist, and so just that, and funding readiness checklist. And so these are the next parts. So it's AB, founder readiness. So you got to get ready as a founder. You got to be solving a problem that's real. You got to be making progress on your thing. So this solution offer validation, that's what we do in our demand validation thing, and so and then the ecosystem alignment stuff. And then these two here, resource preparation, pitch deck and all that stuff. Used AI to get the professionalism signals. Okay, now this is what we're gonna do. This is where you can do it manually. It's like real quick. So your learning philosophy, give yourself a score. If you don't do any experiments, 1. Some experiments 3. You have you do experiments to validate stuff. That's a 5. Founder identity. Do people are you clear about that? Do you have a really good narrative of you as a founder, or is all your stuff out on the internet published and AI published? You when you go out and ask for help, are you vague, or are you asking for help based on the stage you're at? So do you have this? So give yourself a score. And as the result of this is going to tell whether you're resource ready, money investor ready. So just give yourself a score. Precision, general acts, specific, clear, partner alignment. The
ecosystem engagement, you attend events, occasionally follow up, active contributor. Okay. This continues. Resource preparation. You have materials, you have the full package, professional communications, occasional updates, predictable updates, relationship. You don't follow up when you meet people. You use AI to help you. Do you have a CRM tracking system? Do you have a AI powered tracking system? Give yourself a score, 1, 3, or 5. Community contribution. Do you do anything in the community? Some participation. You're a visible contributor. Do you AI leverage minimal, partial tools, full AI workflows? So when you add up all those 10 items, if you get over 40, you're resource ready. And if you get over 48, you're funding ready. Yeah. Yes, and so we're almost finished here. So you're not alone. You're surrounded by an ecosystem, and augmented by AI. So that's what the deal. I hope this was helpful. So let me find the deal here. Find the link for this presentation. Yeah, get this back. Yes, so let me find the link for this presentation and put it in the chat here. So I hope this is helpful to you all and help you make progress and to move forward here. Let's put this in the chat. Here you go. Okay. Well, Joe, we thank you for being here and listening and learning. And yeah, and so, but like when I'm watching stuff online, I'll take out my phone and record it, just record the audio from the transcripts. You just get so many insights. It's just so powerful. So just leverage this AI. It helps you in the ecosystem go much, much faster. And it's really a big opportunity. And, I'm here, there's plenty of people here in the ecosystem to help and support you. We do this every Thursday night. Feel free to reach out anytime, do office hours on Saturdays. Let me see if I can find a link for that. But yeah, just we're here to help you. So just always don't hesitate to reach out. It's popping up here, so I'll have it for you in a second. Okay, my mentor office hours 1 to 3 p.m. on Saturdays, and I'll be available this weekend. And here's the link to the office hours. It's on. I use a platform called Whereby, and just feel free to reach out. And also, we also in the networking that happens before this, that Zoom link. Join in there if you got questions. We're there to help you out on that. Feel free to reach out, and we can help you move forward. See you all in 2 weeks. Make sure you have a happy Thanksgiving. We're excited to have some time to spend with family, and we hope you take the time to spend with family as well. So you all take care. See you all in a couple of weeks.